Thoughts to Build On by KOPMEYER, 57. Chapter 57. Use Your Nothing Computer. A very valuable computer has just been discovered. This valuable computer has been discovered inside you. It is called the Nothing Computer. It is called the Nothing Computer because it does absolutely nothing about whatever problems are fed into it. You just feed into your Nothing Computer all of your problems, anxieties, fears, resentments, and all the other unpleasantness about which you cannot do anything constructive. You assign them to your Nothing Computer and let it do the unnecessary worrying for you, while you devote your constructive thought and effort to worthwhile accomplishments. Most of us are partially immobilized by the memories of our mistakes in countless yesterdays. Yet we cannot relive the past. So why bear these additional burdens? Put them into your Nothing Computer. Let go of them. Let your Nothing Computer handle your remorse and regrets. Many of us live in anxiety and sometimes panic concerning the future. Yet we cannot see beyond the hands of today's clock. So why burden yourself with imagined events which have not even occurred, may never happen, and cannot be dealt with before their time? Put them into your Nothing Computer. And leave them there. Sufficient unto each day are the tasks thereof. We have enough difficulty with today's tasks, without adding the remorse of the past and the anxiety of the future. So irrevocably put your past regrets and future worries into your Nothing Computer, and they will not return to disturb you, because your Nothing Computer will keep them locked inside, while diligently working on them by doing nothing. Anything which would disturb, annoy, worry or burden you, and which you cannot, should not, or do not choose to do anything about, should be turned over to your Nothing Computer with the feeling of relief that you have entirely disposed of that annoyance. Remember, annoyances will not go away of their own accord. You have to do something to dispose of them. The conclusive way to dispose of them is to assign them to your Nothing Computer. A few examples. Unlike Will Rogers, who claimed he never met a man he did not like, I have met people whom, for valid reasons, I did not like. But their continued existence on this same planet does not disturb me in the least. You see, I have assigned them to my Nothing Computer. And, good riddance. There was a man who had a constantly complaining wife. Yet he was serenely undisturbed by her petty complaints. They never reached his consciousness because he sent them directly to his Nothing Computer. There was a wife whose husband had a quick temper. She did not overreact to his brief anger and thus precipitate a shouting match resulting in mutually hurt feelings. She simply assigned his temper tantrums to her Nothing Computer. Since he could not argue with nothing and found himself threshing around in an emotional vacuum, he learned to feed the various causes of his irritability into his own Nothing Computer and thus had nothing to be angry about. A Nothing Computer is simply an amusing, imaginary device for accomplishing what psychiatrists call catharsis, which, in common parlance, means getting rid of undesirable thoughts and feelings, and a Nothing Computer also provides the means of mentally and emotionally blanking out undesirable thoughts and feelings so that they do not make a conscious, much less a subconscious, impression on you. To be able to eliminate all mental emotional reactions to undesirable thoughts and feelings is a state of perfection constantly to be sought. In the meantime, at least discipline yourself not to overreact in any situation. Overreacting will get you into serious trouble, fast. Serious trouble cannot be handled by your useful, amusing, imaginary Nothing Computer. But serious trouble can be handled calmly, intelligently by restraining overreaction. In addition to the professional warnings of psychiatrists, psychologists, personality counselors and many others concerned with personal problems, there are numerous homespun admonitions against overreacting which have come down through the years, such as: don't put out a small fire with a big bucket of water. Don't burn down the barn to kill the rats. And, we might include a more modern one for college rioters: don't close the college to spite the school board. Overreaction in anger probably will hurt you emotionally more than the enemy you surely will make. By pouring the gasoline of overreaction in anger on the temporary flickering flames of displeasure, you start an inferno of hate which escalates with each additional bucket of gasoline. And, you make conciliation more difficult, if not impossible. Your anger will continue to burn long after your target has shrugged you off as an undisciplined, uncontrolled hothead. Overreaction in grief cuts even deeper into the emotional wound and sets up a complex network of deep memory patterns which are so sensitive that even unrelated future events trigger renewed sorrow. Since grief is the reaction to an irreplaceable loss, overreaction in grief cannot replace the loss, but serves only to intensify the pain of sorrow, offering neither comfort nor consolation. Overreaction in joy seems to be a kind of super happy experience that constructively highlights the positive in contrast to the negative impact and harmful effects of overreacting in anger and grief. It has been advised by philosophical sayings such as, "When once the cup of pleasure is to your lips, drink it to the dregs, it may not come again." Yet it is wise not to overreact even to joy because, as Longfellow said, "Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way." So do as Kipling advised, meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. Only through such even-handedness can you maintain psychiatrist Dr. Carl Menninger's requirement of vital balance. The wise men persistently tell us that the pendulum of life swings back and forth, and psychiatrists say that our reactions determine both extremes of its arc. The pleasure-pain graph line of life rises and falls, but we may control its peaks and valleys by the degree of our reaction or overreaction to the direction of its movement. We should curb overreaction and extremism in any direction, and seek, instead, psychiatrist Dr. Carl Menninger's vital balance as a path to equanimity, for only in calmness and serenity will we find peace of mind.